It's midday right here in Lagos, Nigeria. Welcome to Lunchtime Politics. I'm Jeffrey Uzama. Let's bring you up to speed with the big political and policy stories we're hearing or seeing or following across the country within the polity. But let's get started with the ever drama that never ends in the River State. That impeachment drama surrounding River State Governor Fubara, Siminalayi Fubara, has now taken a surprising twist. Now, two opposition lawmakers in the River State House of Assembly are now appealing for restraint and reconciliation. Addressing journalists during a joint press briefing, the minority leader of the House, Honorable Sylvanus Nwankwo of Omoma constituency and Honorable Peter Abe of Degema constituency urged their colleagues to look beyond the governor's alleged infractions and embrace dialogue in the interest of peace and stability. According to the lawmakers, appeals have continued to pour in from stakeholders both within and outside River State, urging the assembly members to reconsider the impeachment process.
We have called this press conference to appeal to our fellow colleagues to tamper justice with mercy and to see how we can resolve this matter apart from the impeachment proceedings. That is why we are here this morning to appeal to the conscience of our fellow colleagues, having listened to so many pleas, calls from our elders and leaders, both within and outside the state, begging for leniency. We are begging, calling our colleagues to reconsider our step and see how this matter can be resolved amicably, even though the governor and the deputy governor has infringed on the Constitution. But we are appealing on them to reconsider our stand.
The governor, yes, he has infringed on parts of the Constitution, but we are human beings, and we as people, as members of the 10th Assembly, we want to plead with our colleagues to please reconsider. This, we have received calls from leaders, from people in River State, outside River State, and we see that you don't raise the axe and swing it as you raise it. So we plead with our colleagues to reconsider, to please reconsider, provided the governor too has a role to play. He too must make sure he doesn't infringe furthermore on the Constitution. So that will bring an amicable settlement to the whole thing.
How this will play out remains unknown, but let's also tell you, still with Rivers politics, and let's call it a further twist. The leadership of PANDEF, that's the Pan-Niger Delta Forum, has inaugurated a committee headed by the former Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation, Kano Agabi, SAN, to find a political solution to the ongoing feud between the governor of the state and his political godfather, the FCT Minister, Nyesom Wike. The committee is mandated to, among other things, identify all actors beyond the governor and the minister, reach out to them, facilitate a dialogue, and recommend steps for reconciliation. The national chairman of PANDEF, Ambassador God knows Gali, says he's optimistic that the committee will be able to find a lasting solution to the escalating political crisis in River State.
The terms of reference of this committee are very simple, and I'll read them out. The first thing, I have the same page. Okay. The first thing is for them to fully identify the main actors in the crisis between the governor and the Speaker of the House of Assembly. There are actors. It's only not two of them. Because even when the Speaker, the motion was moved, there were other people that were there that moved motions and contributed. Next, to reach out to these critical players, especially the Minister of the FCT, all former governors of River State, elders, and traditional rulers and top political leaders. Others fuel crisis in states. We have to talk to them. There's a broken down wall we have to build in number 3. So facilitate dialogue between them. We want to solve the problem. Rivers State will be solved once and for all. People asked me a few days ago, the SGF went to Benue State and said, I will solve the governor, I will solve the SGF, the vice president. If other states are having problems, ours is not out of place. They are our children. They respect us. They know us. They will listen to us.
You know, I was just processing what has been playing out in Rivers State. It's not a conversation for today. It looks like every other day, even when you don't want to talk about Rivers State, they find themselves in the political space as far as the news is concerned. And it's very concerning. What is playing out right now, in my view, sounds like juvenile politics. And I'm looking through the history of Rivers State and the fallout we've seen. So if you follow the politics of Rivers State carefully, there seemed to be that history of successors falling down to their predecessors. Rotimi Amechi fell out with Peter Odili. Literally, they were not friends for as long as Rotimi was governor of the state. And then Nyesom Wike, who was they are literally brothers, Nyesom Wike and Rotimi Amechi, because they are from the same ethnic nationality. One is from Obiakpo, the other is from Ikwere, so they are from the same ethnic nationality. They also fell out. And then we thought this is going to be different. This was even faster, quicker in that sense. Barely 2 or 3 months into the leadership of Siminalayi Fubara. You know all that has played out so far. And then it is Rotimi Amechi, during his time as governor of Rivers State, that led the 5 governors out of the PDP. And that's what led to, part of what led to the Goodluck Jonathan administration losing that election. Then when you fast forward to pre-2023, you see how Nyesom Wike also led the G5 governors against Otukpo, who was a member of his own political party. And then the PDP lost that election as well. We can go on and on. State of emergency was declared in the state. An election, local government election, was conducted in the state during the state of emergency. So I'm just giving you the volatile nature or the dynamics of Rivers politics. Now, it's on record. I stand to be corrected. But I don't know any state in Nigeria where in less than 3 years, as a matter of fact, 2.5+ years, where impeachment notices have been served on the governor 3 times. It is very, so whatever the political class has to do to bring some sanity into the political space in that state has to be done so that the people who are the receiving end of all of this fight would feel the impact of governance once and for all. But it's interesting days yet ahead. But let's tell you about some security development where the Kaduna State Police Command says it has successfully repelled an attack by armed bandits in Giwa local government area of the state, neutralizing 2 suspects and recovering firearms. According to the spokesman of the police command in that state, DSP Mansa Hassan, intelligence revealed that the bandits led by one notorious kingpin identified as Kachala Sanusi Bajira were mobilizing to invade Idisu village of Bayan Kogi of Giwa local government area after residents failed to pay an illegal levy imposed on them. He explained that the Commissioner of Police then directed operatives of the anti-kidnapping unit in collaboration with members of the Civilian Joint Task Force to move to the area. On arrival, the operatives encountered the bandits which had laid an ambush and immediately engaged the security team in the gun duel. The police, however, overpowered the attackers, neutralizing 2 of them while others fled to the surrounding bushes during the operation. 2 firearms and 5 rounds of live ammunition were recovered. Still talking security now, 4 persons, including a member, House of Assembly candidate, that should be Otukpo, local government or state constituency on the platform of the PDP in 2019 general election, Mr. Igabe Ochi, and 4 others have been killed in another attack on the Otobi community in Otukpo local government area of Benue State. The attack, which happened at about 1:30 a.m. this morning, follows Sunday's night kidnapping attempt at Eku Orada in Otobi, performed by community volunteers, Mr. Ocheme Jackson and his team, prompting a high security alert in the community. Sources confirm that the community has been singled out by suspected herdsmen for attacks following killings of 13 persons on April the 15th, 2025, and another attack that claimed 3 more lives in May 2025 as well. Today we're talking security, just like we did yesterday, Ekpoma incident. If you go online, you hear them saying Ekpoma is bleeding. So we had the Commissioner of Information, Mr. Kasim Afegba, yesterday on the program to talk about security. It looks like towards election, there's this surge in insecurity. Now we're talking about Benue State, in Otukpo specifically. Otukpo has been bedeviled by several attacks and killings for many, many years. And so let's bring in the chairman of the local government, Mr. Maxwell Ogiri, who is the chairman of Otukpo local government area in Benue State. Mr. Ogiri, thank you so much for coming on the program. If you could help us unmute your device, Mr. Ogiri, we can hear you loud and clear, because I can see you, but I can't hear you. Can you hear us, sir? Mr. Ogiri, can you hear us?
Yeah, let me... Yes.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you loud and clear.
All right.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, when we got the news about this latest killing in Otukpo, the natural instinct for everybody who has human feeling and empathy is just to say, not again. What happened again?
You know, thank you for having me here. Like you stated just now, Otukpo is bleeding. Darkness befell us. Throughout the Xmas period, we celebrated that Yuletide in a peaceful environment. A lot of fanfare, a lot of entertainment. Suddenly, this new year, we find ourselves in the web of violence. And it didn't just start the early hour of this morning. Prior to today, about 3 days or 4 days ago, we began to notice some activities of some strangers. And they were taking down on any soft targets. They've been to different homes, killed the man of the house, and then take away the wife and the child into families. It happened like that. And we've been on the chase of them. But that of Otobi Akpa yesterday happened. What Intel is saying is that there have been, Intel is telling us that probably these guys are in search of food and water and other things. So they see Otobi in Akpa as a clear place where they can get some of this stuff. They went to a shop. Few persons were there trying to drink and share their normal gist. And they entered there and began to fire on them and killed the 4 immediately. When the town went into stampede, they went into the store, carted away with some money, some cooked food and raw food before the local vigilante in the community responded, and they ran away into the forest. At the end of their mischief, about 4 persons were killed. That is what we have for the moment. However, the security agencies have been mobilized and more reinforcement is heading towards that place. We know that we will overwhelm them, we will decimate them eventually and bring the community back to peace again.
Ms. Ogiri, let's talk about local efforts or state government effort, because it's almost supposed to be, permit my words now, common sense to be able to protect yourself before major help comes. So my question is, at the local level, at your local government level, what are you doing to protect your people? I know that you don't have command and control of any of the security apparatus, but you have to protect your people. What are the measures? On the other hand, I know that under the administration of former Governor Samuel Otom, he has set up this community guard. I've forgotten the full name now. What has happened to that community guard corps, if you will?
Yes, the current administration, headed by the governor of Benue State, the very Reverend Father Yonem Alia, rebranded that outfit and is christened the Benue State Civil Protection Guard. And the state government have been funding the activities of this group. And they've been very up and doing in trying to secure our communities. They've been handy, quick response in trying to safeguard the communities. And they are in every angles of our community, all the districts, all the villages, the wards have the civil protection guards, you know, and we do it in such a way that at any time there is a point of call for response. We draw from different villages and villages and wards to help to repel any act of violence against such a community. Just like what happened yesterday, apart from the community formation of the Civil Protection Guard headed by Comrade Jackson, other elements from other places ran to that place to see how they can safeguard that community that moment. There are other security measures this morning that have been put in place, including the activities of the response of the military, the commissioner of police sending more troops down there. But these are what would I call a reactionary measure, which is also necessary. But in view of what we have in our hand, it is a wake-up call for us to re-engineer the activities, the operational activities of the Civil Protection Guard to be more proactive in their operations.
Mr. Green, as the political head or leader in that local government, as the chairman of the local government area, what, in your view, is responsible for making Otukpo such a hotbed for these levels of attack?
You know, when that New Year attack on banditry in part of Northwest, Northeast, and North Central and Kwara states, you know, you may not be able to get all these elements in that one attack on them. Some of them that survived it will begin to look for how to move towards a safe haven. I think in the process, some of these elements came to our place trying to see how they can assimilate into the society and then look for survival. So in doing that, they need to kidnap, they need to kill, to instill fear, and what we are seeing them doing now.
Oh, Mr.
Yes. Let me add to this. You know, the issue of the fallout from the New Year attacks on banditry, we also have some pocket of court-related activities, which we have been able to nip in the bud at any time it raises its head. But what has happened now, I think, is a wake-up call for all of us, both those in government and those outside the government, to put our hands on the deck and see how we can arrest this ugly situation. Let it not instill more fear and blood in our community.
The last time I interviewed the governor, Father Hyacinth Elia, as I was talking to him, And as though, you know, it has so happened that you can almost predict it will happen again. And I did say, but what is the government, led by the governor itself, what is it doing to ensure that this is nib in the bud? Besides the measures, you have listed some in passing, but there has to be, they said sometimes desperate times it demands desperate measure. I remember the president had to visit Benue when the issue around the locality, he couldn't visit that community because of the rain and the road and all of that. But after then, we're still seeing attacks happen, although maybe not as much in the scale it happened. Maybe you'll tell me that as well. But my question is, what exactly is the government doing in terms of strong action in collaboration with the federal government to do the best they can to protect the people of Benue State? Benue has been, the needless killings, the needless deaths is becoming unbearable and unacceptable. And the responsibility of government is to protect lives and property. So what exactly is Governor Eisen doing, strongly in your view, to send a clear signal to the people of the state that we've got your back, and to the criminals that we won't tolerate this anymore?
You see, of an executive to do certain security measures, apart from the ones that are local. You know the character and pedigree of the governor, the Dr. Reverend Father Hyacinth Alia. You know that he's a man of thoroughness. He's a man of diligence. And he has put that even in the issue of tackling insecurity in Benue State. And he's not leaving any stone unturned. You know, when it happened like this, the best a governor or a chief executive of a local government can do is to deploy enough strategy, fund, and stratagem, and also call for collaborators, partners within the state or community, so that it is not like a one-man show. Why the governor is doing his own and had marshaled us out as chairmen of different local government to do likewise, we still need a lot of partnership with the locals, so that the effort will not be a frustrating one. A single man cannot shoulder the task of securing the community alone. Everybody needs to be part of it. And this is a wake-up call, like I said earlier, for all of us to wake up. The time for sleeping and slumber should be over.
Ms. Agri, we hope it doesn't happen again. I wish I could say it won't happen again, but I'm worried that we're not confident that that will not happen again. The governor may not have command of the police, the army, and all of that, but he has control.
Let me
sorry, he doesn't have control.
You know,
he has a bit of command, you know, because he meets with service service commanders in that sense to be able to provide.
Because we are in the open air. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, please.
Because we are in the open air, there are certain strategies this morning that the governor has pushed out. It won't be wise for me to, because I don't know the kind of people that are listening to us. But I assure you, so many things have been put together that this ugly incident will not happen again. I assure you that. And I assure the people of my community and the people of Benue State and Nigeria entirely that this ugly issue will not happen again.
Well, my religious self will say amen to it, and we hope it doesn't happen because we're talking about lives. Mr. Ogri Maxwell is the chairman of Otukpo local government area of Benue State. Thank you, sir, for coming on the program. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
And just before we go, let's tell you that the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Yusuf Tuggar, says Nigeria will leverage the Abu Dhabi Sustainability Week to concretize climate commitments with actionable projects. Speaking in Abu Dhabi, the minister said President Bola Tinubu will present identified initiatives to attract funding from international partners and organizations attending that event. The president will also hold a bilateral meeting with the president of the United Arab Emirates, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, during the summit, where a comprehensive economic partnership agreement is expected to be signed.
Provide the opportunity to extract.
And that's it on the program. Thank you for your time and company. I'm Jeffrey Ozama. You've been served on Lunchtime Politics. Bye-bye.